Hey everyone, welcome back to Citywide Blackout, your home for music, movies, and more. I'm your host, Max Bowen. In this episode, I'm talking with musician Michael Jones, who recently released his debut EP, American Poet, Part 1. Now, this is a brand new chapter in Michael's life. Prior to this, he was the founder and CEO of Pepperjam, and he talks about his pivot to the world of music. Now, one of Michael's more well-known songs, This Is the Night, is described as an apocalyptic party anthem, and so we dive right into some of our favorite end-of-the-world movies and shows. And believe me, between the two of us, we have seen quite a few of them. And joining me now, well, he has made the transition from business CEO to musician. He has his first debut EP out called American Poet Part 1, released a couple weeks ago, and more to come. Chatting with Michael Jones. Michael, welcome to the show, man. Awesome to talk to you. I am looking forward to diving into the musical background.
I appreciate it, Max. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to an interesting conversation.
That'll be nice. Yeah, we'll hope for that.
Cool.
So I want to start with your transition from business to music. So you started out as being the CEO and founder of Pepperjam, and now you're going into music. How did those two aspects, did they begin at the same time, or did one sort of flow into the other?
I think it's all sort of parallel reality sort of happening all at once. So, life takes twists and turns, and some things happen by accident. I sort of got into business by accident. And it was after I had a baby when I was pretty young. Ended up jumping into law school, and I was actually became an attorney for a few years. And from there, got into sort of the .com world and started a marketing company, and it sort of took off. And it was a partner of mine who was more on the business side. I was more on the creative side of things, and ended up really blowing up, and ended up going through a couple of large acquisitions. And so I ended up being the CEO of this large company when I didn't plan for it. But at the same time, I'd been writing, making music, and writing a lot of poetry and fiction the whole time. Just I wasn't focused on it 100%, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. What happened to make you say, okay, we're going to get this thing collected, we're going to put it out there, we're going to make an album?
Honestly, I guess it ties together to what I just said, and that's that this has always been going on in my life. I've been sort of writing for myself and writing for my own sanity and all those good things, more of a therapy than anything, but not sharing it. But ever since this, the COVID situation really kicked in, and this world, sort of crisis took place, I've had a lot of time to focus on creativity in a way that I haven't for the earlier part of my life. I've just been driven by sort of the energy out there as of late to really dive into this 100% with my heart and soul and sweat and blood and all that. And it's been a really incredible experience.
That's something I've seen a lot of. People have taken advantage of just the free time, staying home all day to make that album, write that book, work on that screenplay, do this, because it's I'm cooped up all day. I may as well take advantage of all of a sudden having this all time myself. So what I'm seeing is a lot of folks, putting out new albums and singles. So it's kind of cool seeing that energy just going in a good direction.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I've had a kind of an interesting view on it all because it started for me a couple of years ago. I ended up exiting the company after being the CEO for a while, and I had free time on my hands, for the first time in a while, and I was trying to figure out what to do next with my life. And I have always wanted to dive into writing, so I wrote a poetry book, a 110-page poetry book, sort of a concept, radical poetry, all rhymed concept sort of book, and ended up sending the manuscript out, and it got published this year, just in March. And I took it and, I started to take that poetry and over the last, call it 6-7 months, transform it into sort of music. And that's, that's where the album has come from. And I have so much more in motion. I could probably do, 4 or 5 albums just on the material I already have started. So I'm just, I'm loving what's happening.
Very cool. Now, you mentioned the law and the business background. Have they been helpful at all in terms of a music career?
No, I mean, I think certain industries touch every other industry. Law is one. I mean, record labels, contracts, royalties, that piece of music, which, if you want to have an opportunity to make music a career, you need to understand that, the legal background is super helpful there. The writing is super helpful there. The legal writing that I've done. And, I practiced litigation for 3 years prior to really diving full into the internet stuff. So it's very helpful. Yeah. The law runs through everything.
Now, you talked about the book out, which is called The Enemy of Everything, through Atmosphere Press. I love the first sentence. This book might disturb you. I love that, because it's like, yeah, this is not like a feel-good poetry book. This is not relax and picture mountains kind of book. What do you talk about?
It's just sort of it's a bit of a radical assault on human reality. The things we hold dear and the things we don't admit to ourselves, and the strangeness of this whole existence. And it tears at things that can be uncomfortable for certain people to think about. But a lot of it, and then there's some very dark humor in it as well. And I touch on a lot of themes that, heaven and hell and death, that in a way that, some people might just find uncomfortable, but it's the kind of thing I just unfortunately have locked into my brain on a daily basis. So I have to write about it.
Hey, there you go. It's in your head. You got to put it out there.
Yeah, it's cool. And I worked with an illustrator from England that I've gotten to know, and I've actually illustrated the book as well, and in a cool way, because I always loved that as a child. Those kind of books had the illustrations with it. He's just an unbelievable artist. So anyway, it's a pretty cool book.
Definitely. I think you said that the book kind of flows into the music. Do you touch on a lot of the same kinds of stories in your music?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. Maybe I'm a little melodramatic or whatever I am, but I'm just intrigued with concepts that are kind of big and universal, and I like to try to find different spins on them. Reality, life, and death, and love, and sort of the sense of how we experience love, and those type of things that I don't know. I don't hear enough of in today's music. It's just from my perspective. It's what I enjoyed in music when I really fell in love with music for the first time. So I just wanted to make it, and I made stuff that I myself would like to listen to, and I hope other people like it too, but it feels good to make it,
I definitely think that's the way you want to go, because if you're making something that you think will just sell or will be well received by the listening public, it's not going to be the same, because if you go to perform it, it's going to come out empty.
And that's the truth. And, I've learned a lot over the last year about the music industry, and it's been intriguing. I mean, really, honestly, I find it to be really fascinating, the whole thing, because it's it's a whole world that people that aren't in it just don't know exists, but it exists sort of right under their noses. So it's very interesting. The music that's out there, there's some awesome music out there right now that I love, but there's not a lot of there's not a lot of lyric focused music, I think, that everybody can connect to. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of it's gone down, one similar sounding road. And I miss a lot of the lyric driven music of classic rock and things of that order.
Yeah, I get you, man. I get you.
Yeah.
People just kind of go with what they think is going to be popular without putting their kind of heart into it. I can kind of see that.
Right. And everybody has a voice, and that voice, you can't, if you pretend to be something, then the music's not going to be beautiful,
Yeah, definitely.
So, you have to sing what's inside you, and you do that. And if that's the sound you love, then make that music. And if a couple people love it, then you've done your job, I think,
Yeah.
Especially in this crazy time.
Yeah. This actually reminds me of another artist I know. His name is Pratik. He's based out of Boston, and he released the single a while back, and it all deals with substance abuse and addiction. And I think that's something you don't hear a lot, because it's a very negative thing. Obviously, it's not something that is popular. People don't want to hear about it, but it touches
which is crazy, because any subject matter can be made beautiful. I mean, there's plenty of amazing songs that are that are about addiction. I mean, some of the best songs ever. I mean, With or Without You, right? I mean, there's a song that's about addiction by U2 that's fucking fantastic,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, so there's a beauty to find in that, and that's something so many people are dealing with now. It's a perfect type of song to write.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
Big time.
this EP has been out for about a month now, give or take. And normally this would be kind of followed by, a CD release show, a tour, but COVID's put a stop to all of those things.
Yeah.
How have you been getting the word out about this thing, and how has it been going so far?
It's been interesting. I mean, it's all digital, right?
Sure.
So the way I look at it is there's an ocean of music, right? And that I think the statistic is 80,000 songs a day are uploaded onto Spotify globally, right? And some obnoxious number of albums. So there's this ocean of music, and every possible publisher pipeline is completely crammed, right? With a billion things. So you're just kind of caught in this swamp. But you have to find that lucky kind of path upward to to get the big exposure into your music. But there's ways to separate yourself out of the ocean, like contests and stuff. And I just entered a few contests, and I entered 2 contests, and the first song was a top 10 finalist. I think it was Song University, and then I just sent another one in, and from Song Universe, and it was one of the top 5 songs of August. And like those little things, I mean, they're reinforcing at least that I'm saying something that someone's hearing, which is interesting. But it does help, because that kind of thing separates you out. And now you're on like the winners page of an internet site that gets a bunch of people that have publishing potential looking at it, and you're separated from the ocean. So, it's a weird world. So you have to navigate it, and I'm learning it. And, I've had on some of my videos, which have gone sort of viral, especially the first one that I put out, This Is the Night, which is quite apocalyptic. And the video is incredibly timely, sort of humanity tearing down the world, tearing down the system kind of thing. It's pretty wild. So it's a lot of support. People that have loved my music, people that have hated it. I've gotten some religious people that have given me a hard time because of that video that I just talked about. So it's run the gamut, but it's been fun. And I think I'm starting to learn the industry enough that I could be, more and more successful. We'll see. Mm-hmm. It's fun to make, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Does that ever bug you when you get that kind of negative feedback from folks?
It's funny. I was in live musical theater when I was young, and when I was in university in England, and then at Villanova, and it was that to me is like a medium that's kind of the hardest of all. Live performances, like the last level. So you get thick skin from doing that. So, I mean, if you can do that, I don't know, this, putting my heart and soul into it, and having people, I don't like when people don't sort of give it enough attention to make a decision about it. But if you listen closely and you don't like it, then that's fine. That's fun. And I think that unfortunately, most people won't like your music. It's crazy, but it's the truth.
How do you think you stand out from the ocean? I know you mentioned the contest being definitely a good way. How else do you think you can effectively stand out from the 80,000 folks who are publishing the music right now?
Relentlessness,
mm-hmm.
with unbelievably thick skin. Not even so much from the nose that you'll get or whatever you do if you're trying to get your music published to a bigger audience, but the being able to just not give up when people don't respond to you. That's kind of the big thing. Because of the ocean, there's a lot of waiting, and there's a lot of silence. And then there's a lot of anticlimactic stuff. You want to send something out, you worked on it, you send it to someone that you think you'd love to hear them listen to it, and they just never respond, So those are the kind of realities you just have to deal with. And then some of them will pop up way later, because I think people's inboxes are just they're overflowing.
Yeah, I get at least like 10 emails a day from people wanting to get their stuff heard. It's like, okay, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, I maybe I'm a romantic or an idealist or whatever you want to say, but I do think that the music has to be really fucking good, like really fucking good. I think more so than ever, it needs to be amazing. And if it is, I think it starts to find its way, but how long that will take, I think, is a big unknown.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of luck involved there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's my opinion.
No, I definitely agree. There are some folks who can become a big deal because they become some internet sensation because of some appearance on some talk show or what have you. But that kind of power only lasts for a little bit, and then they're back to square one. It's the ones who have talent that actually are able to carry that ball much further. Yeah,
it really is. And even what talent means now has become, more, I don't like to use the word competitive, but I think it's just a game of numbers. There's so many people in the world. There's so many more people than there used to be. And now everybody's locked in front of, entertainment consuming mechanisms 24/7, so you've got so much content flowing that, God, man, you got your stuff better sound different. It better be badass. It better be super fucking cool. Or, it's going to just be a small group of people that ever hear it. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm. All right. With that being said, let's dive into the album because I love a good Americana sound. So how did you like get into this style? Like,
man, it's interesting. I think it goes back to finding your sound, and what that means. I mean, I think the great musicians of history have really found their sound, and that's what that's what makes them special. Certain voices, certain song structures, certain sounds, guitar playing, different things. So I think if you find your sound, I think you can. That's the first place to start. I think to making great music, and the one thing I think that I can do. I don't better than a lot of other people from my perspective is writing lyrics, and I come from a poetry kind of background, and I was an English literature major and studied literature deeply in England, and wanted to be a professor in the earlier part of my life, and so writing has been such a central part of my life for so long in literature. I'm able to translate that for whatever reason over to songwriting in a way I think that can bring with it some magnitude that others might kind of struggle to find in their writing. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does. I get you. And it's cool that you're able to take that education and transition to it into a career. Because I know so many folks who study like literature, English, creative writing, and they work at Target now. It's definitely good that you're able to kind of like take those skills and sort of move it in a good direction.
Yeah, I was always just naturally, I don't know why, even when I was a young child, I was always naturally good at writing poetry. I don't know why, it was sort of I'd win all the poetry contests when I was young and stuff, and I didn't even know what I was doing, it just kind of flowed out of me. So there was always sort of a lyrical rhythm to the way I wrote. It was just kind of natural. That's carried over into some of the songs.
This Is the Night, I think, is my favorite out of this entire collection. I know picking favorites is kind of tough to do, and it's not to say that the rest of the songs, are shit.
No,
the rest
it's
of them
okay.
Are really good too.
Okay. I could see why, and it's a man song in a lot of ways.
It really is.
It is because, when I look at that, I mean, it really isn't. It's a universal theme, obviously. But in looking at the audience, and that's really, I've gotten a lot of attention on that song and that video, and it's been 70% men. It's been interesting.
It's a very powerful song, I found.
Yeah. Well, it's I think if you listen to it a few times, you'll maybe draw a little bit of different feeling or meaning out of it. I mean, it's dark, but it's supposed to be celebratory in the end, and it's really supposed to be a very human song.
Now, are you self-taught at music?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was in musical theater my whole life, so I've been sort of a vocalist, if you will, and I've always played some guitar. Not professionally, but I was always a vocalist and singer. So I don't know, the the melody and the lyrics sort of just they sort of come to me at the same time, you know.
I get you.
So
I get you.
So that's kind of how I write my songs.
I'm really curious. Do you have a favorite off this EP?
No, I really honestly don't. Because you know, I wrote them. I really mean this. You know, I wrote them ultimately for me and from me, like so it would be really from my voice. And they're all kind of babies to me, to be honest with you, in different ways. The song that I think is the most universal and the one that would has the chance to me to be, you know, my top song, if you will. It already sort of is What Is This Life For, which is the third song on the album there. So you know, it's darker, but I think it's the whole album has a little bit of darkness, but that song is lighter. You know, and then the second album, which should be done in like just a few weeks here. It's all done. I'm just finishing a little bit of the production on the last two tracks. Is, you know, a little more intimate, you know, a little softer, but it's, I don't know if you heard the newest song I put out, Real, but that would I just put out that single. That'll give you a taste of what the second part of the album will be like.
Oh, very cool, man. Very cool. You turned your video off, by the way. So at some point, eventually, we're going to get live shows back. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. When that time comes, where are you looking forward to performing at?
Man, I'm so excited. So I want to do, I'm going to do like a sort of, you know, musical experience. Big lights and very psychedelic. And I want it to be sort of multi-sensory, you know. So I'm looking forward to do that. I'm going to do it locally first, here in northeastern Pennsylvania, because I know people up here like this type of music.
Awesome. I was gonna say, since you are kind of close-ish to Philly, would be Boot and Saddle.
Yes, a few practice shows in the Northeast, and then Philadelphia.
There you
Sounds
go.
like a plan, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think with the way COVID is chasing this world out of the cities, it might be Philadelphia people coming to play in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. That'd
be interesting, actually. Yeah, I think we're going to see that big shift with the
people
whole.
People are migrating, man. It's a migration. It's a great migration. It's extreme. I've seen it. I have friends living out west and the Inland Empire in like the middle of the country and like Montana and places like that. And the small cities in Montana are doubling and tripling in size in like 5 months, and there's no real estate available anywhere. And it's kind of the same here where I live. We're about 2 hours from Manhattan, 2 hours from Philadelphia, like a pretty sizable population here in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area, and there's no houses available.
Wow.
Everything is gone. Everything is gone. It's crazy, man.
Damn.
Crazy times. Crazy times.
Very crazy.
So you like This Is the Night, huh? That was the one.
That was definitely my pick. If I had to pick one, that would be the one.
Pretty. You didn't mind it as too apocalyptic,
dude. Apocalyptic is my world. You know, I'm a huge fan of like the zombie genre. I love like dystopian futures.
Me too. I've seen it all. I've gone so deep on Netflix, so deep on Amazon Prime, so deep on Shudder, because I'm like a horror fanatic, that I have scraped the bottom, man. There is nothing left to watch. I've gone so deep into the Japanese. They are the best horror movie makers in the fucking world.
Oh, God.
And I've gone so deep on them. There's nothing left to watch. It's very frustrating.
Remember, I think years back when like American studios were Americanizing all these Japanese horror movies.
Yeah. Oh God, The Grudge.
Yeah, The Grudge.
Absolutely,
The Ring.
Man. The Ring. Obviously, those are the big two, but there's others that people don't even know about.
Yeah.
One Last Call. That's another fantastic one.
The Eye.
The Eye, dude. The Eye. Yes, those are the movies that, you know, that's like the second layer down. But then there's like another layer down. You know, you start getting into some really strange Japanese stuff. There's some stuff out there that's, you know, it's dubbed very poorly, but man, it is fucking shocking visually.
They do good horror. They're very good at horror. Did you see?
They do, man. There's one called the Curse. You can check it out if you ever have a chance. It's really, really fucking, really freaky. It's a good one.
Did you watch Kingdom on Netflix?
No, should I?
That is I believe
I don't watch shows. I got to admit that I don't. I'm a movie fanatic.
This is short.
I've never really gotten into shows, so I have to. That's got to be my next horizon.
Yeah, I'd recommend it because it is a zombie film that takes place in, I believe it is Korea. Korea.
Okay,
but it's in ancient times. It's like back in the eras of swords and bows and arrows.
Oh, wait a minute! No, I did see. Wait. That's a movie.
No, it's a series.
Is that a series?
It's a series.
Oh man, there is a movie that's like that as well that's out on Netflix, right? Okay, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but okay.
Yep.
So it's the same kind of thing, like old sort of ancient Korea or ancient sort of Asian culture.
Exactly.
Zombie.
Yep.
That's good, man. That's a good one. I'm going to check that one out.
Each season is only like 6 episodes, so it's actually a very quick watch.
Okay. I like that idea.
Yep.
I'm going to check that out.
It's so good because
shows are next. I get a lot of my inspiration from some of these crazy shows and movies.
Oh yeah?
I do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just entertaining, and I don't think directly as much. It's just the energy that comes from them. And when late at night, I just, if I'm not in the music studio, I enjoy going deep into some movies and some stories.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. What do you think is probably a tricky pick, but your favorite post-apocalyptic story?
Movie?
Yeah, movie. Yeah, let's go with movie.
Okay. Let me think. I'm a little bit of for some of the big pictures. Like I'm not quite as I don't know why. Like I love the indie flex, but I like a little Hollywood sizzle on the movie still. So, one of my favorite zombie movies is World War Z.
I love that movie. Oh my God. The book is so much better, but the movie is amazing.
I've read the book, but the book is much more like, little story, kind of broken up into those mini chapters. And I fucking loved it. It's easy to turn. Right. But it's not, but amazing. So very different, but I don't know, that movie I thought that movie was done pretty well.
When I heard they were making it into a movie, I thought, okay, so it's basically a collection of interviews. How are they going to make that into a movie? And then I saw, okay, that's how they're doing it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I liked the zombies. The zombies were pretty fucking crazy in that movie, and I liked that. They were genuinely in your face, kind of intense and scary. So that's a good one. I like that one a lot. I grew up on the Mad Max stuff, which I still love. Thunderdome was a movie that had like a really strange effect on me as a child.
Mm-hmm.
It's a movie that I just, I would put up there on the list for me. I don't know why. Something about the Tina Turner character in that movie, and it was like that age. It was just it left an imprint. So that one would be up there for me too. I think I've seen like every movie in that genre, and I enjoy them. I enjoy the end of the world movies. I like the Comet movie with Elijah Wood. What's that one? Deep Impact.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yep.
That one I think is the best of the Comet movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little cheesy in parts, but it's still pretty cool. The destruction scenes are good. I like the destruction of the world scenes. Dude,
Armageddon was so much cheesier. That was so much
Well,
cheesier.
That was terrible. I mean, those
garbage.
But the sick thing about those films is I can still watch them.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it's about the end of the world, I'm in. I love 28 Days Later.
Oh, my God, such a good movie.
That's a fucking awesome movie, that from the zombie flick world that I really like. 28 Weeks Later was like a little bit of a bigger version, but I still enjoyed that one.
It was good. It was good. I keep
I like the horror flicks. There's some amazing horror flicks out there if you like the horror genre at all.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sinister is probably one of the best horror movies I've ever seen.
That was good. I saw the first one.
That's that Ethan Hawke. Yeah, that's up there on the list for me. I also like The Grudge. I think The Grudge is really fucking good.
Which one? The original Japanese or
both of them? Both
of
them. The Japanese version is awesome, and I'd say it's about 10% better. But the American version's pretty good. It's pretty fucking twisted.
Nice.
One of The Ring and The Grudge maybe have the best bad characters that I've ever seen. So the Japanese, something about the Japanese ladies, with the hair in their face and their twisted movements. It's just not good.
Yeah. I actually just saw the reboot of Child's Play. Had some great gore scenes.
the whole Child's Play series is my son's, who's 9 years old, his favorite thing.
Nice.
Favorite thing of all.
Yeah.
It's so I've actually watched those recently.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And
they're
toys,
fun. Man.
I can get into any of it though.
Cool,
trust me. I watch romantic comedies with my wife as well. So whatever.
I like that. Well, speaking of scary, when it came time to put American Poet out there, to release it to the world, was that like a hard thing to do? Were you thinking like, okay, maybe we should do a few more edits or a couple more listen throughs?
No, because the truth is, I believe in this, that, you can't let perfection get in the way of, releasing music. You're changing too fast. I can't have a relationship with one of my songs for too long of a period of time where I lose the inspiration that started the song. So I have to sort of let it go, and then move on. And if it's got some imperfections, then it's got some humanity in it. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. All right. Well, Michael, this has been a lot of fun, man. I've enjoyed talking to you about horror movies.
Really, I have too, man. It's been very cool.
Good stuff. And folks at home, go to AmericanPoetMusic.com to get his book, The Enemy of Everything. Of course, American Poet Part 1 out right now. American Poet Part 2 out in just a few weeks. Dude, I'm definitely looking forward to the new release.
I appreciate it, man. And Max, do me a favor and just give, after this is over, give a quick listen to Real, my new single. I want to hear what you think about it.
You got it.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brian Murphy from One Time Mountain, and you're listening to Citywide Blackout with Max Bowen.
Rock on.
Picture this. You finished your first book and nailed it. The plot, the characters, all the twists and turns. This one's a winner, and all you need is the right cover. If you've got my art skills, this is the part where panic usually sets in. Enter the cover villain, hero to writers everywhere. Founded by noted author Remy Flagg, Cover Villain focuses on composite image covers for science fiction and fantasy writers. Give them the details, and they'll craft a cover using popular trends that everyone will want to see. But wait, you say, I've got ideas of my own. No problem, as Cover Villain loves a good collaboration. As they say, our goal is to put a little villain in every cover we make. Want to know more? Then head to covervillain.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. All right, folks, that brings the episode to a close. Big thanks to Michael for joining me. You can follow the show on Facebook under Citywide Blackout, Twitter and Instagram under Citywide Max, and check out citywideblackout.blogspot.com. Listen to the show on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, YouTube, and every Saturday at 10 p.m. on Boston Free Radio. To close things out, I've got one of Michael's newest songs, Real. As always, keep those ears open.
I'm gonna walk with you tomorrow, so give me what you can tonight. I'll never be the man you dreamed of, I'll never be quite right, but I'll keep still trying to love you in the best way that I can. But at the end of this love story, all I am is just a man. Let's love the real way the best we can. It's the only winning play for this losing hand. Let's keep on walking life together, make this road good as it can feel. Let's find a way to love enough so we can both pretend it's real. If our race only has one running and there is no fairy tale, it doesn't mean love can't win the day. It doesn't mean love has to fail. Let's bet it all on love Let's use the magic and its spell. At least we'll get a life of loving before we learn if there's heaven or hell. Let's love the real way the best we can. It's the only winning play to this losing hand. Let's keep on walking life together. Make this road good as it can feel. Let's find a way to love enough so we can both pretend it's real. Let's keep on walking life together. Make this road good as it can feel. Let's find a way to love enough so we can both pretend it's real. And smile just enough to get us from today to death's door. Let's live like we were born to be the one each lives their life for. Let's keep on walking life together. Make this road good as it can feel. Let's find a way to love enough so we can both pretend it's real. Let's bet all that we are on love. Make this road the best it can feel. And if we give all that we are to love, maybe love will make it real. All that we are to love, and love will make this love and real. Give all that we are to love, and let love make this loving real. Give all that we are to love, and let love make this loving real. Give all that we are to make it real.